Hi, I'm Dustin Klein, some guy on the internet, and today I'm going to show you how I custom painted this helmet so that you can customize any helmet that you have at home with minimal tools and resources. Shall we? The first thing I did is I had to figure out what direction I wanted to go for this project. So I took several photographs of the helmet in a few different views, and then I took those photographs into Procreate and started drawing different commotion patterns on them to see what I liked and what would work for this project. Sometimes it's fun to just dive in and see what you come up with, but for this project I wanted to have a little bit better idea of what I was going to be getting into before I started. The helmet I decided to go with on this project is a Specialized Airnet. This was the perfect helmet for this project. They're blank, they're super affordable. It's like around $100 or 80 euros. It looks good, it's lightweight, perfect for this kind of project. So once the design is figured out, the next thing you gotta do is you have to clean the helmet. So I use regular rubbing alcohol and a microfiber towel. Make sure all the grease and dust is off of it. And what this does is it preps it up for the next step, which is sanding. And I use a 400 grit sandpaper for this project and just folded it over onto itself. And you just lightly go over the whole helmet. You're essentially giving the helmet some tooth so that the paint has something to grab on or adhere to. And anywhere that you want to put paint, you can sand it. And if you sand a spot that you're not going to put paint on, it's okay because we're going to put some clear coat on at the end and that will hide any of those abrasions. But go light, you're just giving it a little bit of texture. If your helmet is already matte, you might not need to sand it. It wouldn't hurt to do it, but you might not have to. I would test a small area if this is the case. Once everything has been sanded down, the next move is to clean the helmet yet again with some rubbing alcohol and your microfiber towel or a paper towel. Essentially what this does is cleans up the helmet, gets all the dust off of it so that the paint has a smooth, clean contact point to adhere to for the next step, which is painting the helmet. All right, supplies for painting. I like this Montana liquid acrylic. It's easy to work with, it's affordable, and it's readily available. I also like these cheap palettes to put the ink in. You could also use a paper cup. For a brush, I use a Winsor Newton Series 7 or a Japanese calligraphy brush. Feel free to use whatever you like. I'll put links to all this stuff down below, and a little bit of water for cleaning your brush. And I always get a little nervous before a painting session, so I highly suggest just making some marks on some scratch paper to just get warmed up and get ready. And once you're warmed up enough, it's time to just dive in. You just start making marks. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start with where you're at. And with this liquid acrylic paint, I've found that you can go back a little bit. You can undo some of the marks, but it's not easy to do all the time. So you wanna keep the mistakes at a minimum if possible. And once you get warmed up, you start getting in that rhythm. It's pretty fun. You just kind of go along with the flow. I mean, this is basically the best part, being able to do what you do best, enjoy the process, make the marks, and kind of just, see how it's actually going to turn out. After you get your initial layer done, all the brush strokes are on there. The thing that you got to do, this is such a big pro tip that nobody ever really wants to do, is you go back over everything again. You give all the strokes another layer. And what this does is it makes that white super opaque, really pop out. It takes it to that next level of professionalism. No one ever wants to do it, but it really does help set it apart. And this holds true for most light colors. So you just got to put that first layer down, look at it, and then do the second layer if you need to. And remind yourself the journey is the destination. All right, you put in all this hard work, you finished the painting, you're super excited to wear it, but there's still one last step we've got to do, and we've got to seal the deal. And what I've found works well for clear coat is this Montana varnish. It comes in several different finishes from sheen to matte to satin. It's readily available, it's affordable, and it's durable. I put a link to this guy in the bio as well. So before you clear coat, you got to do a little bit of prep work. And what this entails is you got to cover up anything that you don't want to be clear coated. So for this helmet, what I did was I just took some old newspaper and just covered up all the things I didn't want to have varnish on them. I didn't get too crazy with tons of tape and all this crazy stuff. If you just cover things up with paper, it'll do just fine. And when you're doing this step, pay extra attention not to rub the helmet on a surface that's going to take off the paint that you just put on. So either put a soft fabric down or just hold the thing gingerly. Hey, here's a little tip. Since we're going to be using an aerosol can to clear coat our piece, this is a tip that works for all aerosol paints. So you can store them in the cold garage, but before you're going to use them, the move is to bring them in the house or put them in a warm bucket of water. You want to heat these cans up. It makes the material inside come out a lot smoother. So once you've got that thing heated up, at least to room temperature, then you can go outside and spray to your little heart's content and get a nice, solid, consistent finish. I'm telling you, that little bit will go a long way. Let's spray it up. And the trick to spraying clear coat with aerosol is to do a lot of thin coats. Keep your distance, move at a consistent speed, and let it dry out in between. It'll dry out within 10 to 30 minutes, depending on your weather, and then spray another thin layer of clear coat. I would say to do this around 4 times. More is better, less is questionable. It's a game of patience, my friend. A game of patience. After you get your final coat of clear coat on there, I would let this thing sit at least overnight. Probably 24 hours is best. Congratulations! You've finished the task. And just like that, bam, we have our very own custom painted, brand new looking helmet that we can show off to all of our friends. You know, I painted this. And then the most exciting moment, when you finally get to try on that thing that you've been working so very hard. Oh my God, it feels even better than before. Oh my. Okay, oh yeah. Yeah, baby! Maybe it's a little much. Well, you know, that's the thing. You paint the thing, you do the best you can, and, you know, you move on from there. Either way, you'll know that you created your very own piece, and there's nothing quite like that feeling. That satisfaction is next level. If there's anything you liked here, go ahead, hit the like button. I like it. If you haven't subscribed, now might be the time. And check out the Everything's Been Done Gear Shop, the greatest place on the internet. Until next time, dear friends, this is Dustin Klein, signing off. There's nowhere to go. How do I end it if there's nowhere? I'm just gonna stand here and enjoy my helmet.